So guys, we got more Pokemon news, so we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm bringing you this video because as I was trying to upload my the last part 5, another thing had came out, so I decided to hold off, figure out the information about that, and then do this video. So we're gonna just jump on right into it. No introductions needed. So first thing we had here was the little conversation that David brought this link to Ruffle Rowlett, sent it to him, and it was supposed to be about the developers having sent this job thing for the for a planner, and he said he gave him the link, and the link took us to this page here. This page tells you about the company, what they're about, and the business, their office, and all that stuff. And then that page leads us to this page about the jobs and stuff like that. So when this came out, it was on the 18th, and they showed that the planner, they needed one, and as you can see right there, it's blinking new right there, and it still is. You know, this was posted on the on the 4th, I'm sorry, because this is the 4th, 2018, I'm sorry. Right, 4/18, no, I was right, the 18th, I'm so sorry, I'm contradicting myself now. So it's 4/18/2018, they just got the 2018 forward instead of behind the 18, which is, I've never seen it like that, but I guess that's how it correlates in Japanese, because I translated this page. So then that page leave us to this one, which then it shows you that the planner field here, they need experience in the field with the project planning, recreation, and data design, game development. It says, I have welcome field planning. This is just job description on what they want you to do. So I have field planning, character multiple organization, map, camera design, RPG. I have field programming. I think this is just a this is just a method, application method. Business concept, field project planning, specific working on RPG, mainly Nintendo's game machine, data import working, navigation, not work since implementation progress, which other categories and staff the same occupational and categories and staff of the same occupation. Debugging work. So what most people look at here is that why would they need debugging work if the game hasn't already, been out there for a good minute, if you understand what I'm saying. And this goes back to how the most of the jobs that they put out set forth over the job applications and stuff, and the jobs that they've asked for, supposed to be programming, translators and all that stuff. So that leads right into that thing with the job listings we've seen previously in my other videos. And now they need a planner, and a planner, if the half of the game is done already, why would they need a planner unless you're trying to do it for like merchandise or something, or promoting the movie even more, or just even, or having them to even just put some things out there like for trailers and stuff like that. That's also a thing. You can plan on certain things of what day you want this to come out, what day you want that to come, what day you want this to happen, what day you want this to happen. This is what the planner does. He sets forth dates, what he wants done by what date, so that when the game comes out, or when the game is being, put out there into the world, like with trailers so forth, he knows what day the game probably is going to release by the time they get to the actual release date. I'm sorry. So that's what they do. So, and you at least have to have I think, what is it, somewhere in here? I think in here, like, somewhere they say, like, yeah, I have played the Pokemon series. So basically, they want you at least to know somewhat of what the Pokemon series is, and what types and stuff. So you'll know what you're dealing with when you're planning this stuff or trying to help out the team with, planning. If you don't even know what type of Pokemon is, or what a fire type is, or something just simple like that. If you don't know, like, what events in Pokemon has come before, and how they do events, and how they do events in different ways and stuff. If you understand what I'm talking about, please comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. But I honestly, I know what they're trying to say here. Like, at least know something about Pokemon in order to at least be able to work for them. Obviously, I would expect someone to, at least if they're gonna do a job like this with Game Freak, at least either, if you don't know the knowledge, at least learn it. So. Then we had got Cerebi showing us that we had a trademark for Ultra Shiny. But then turns around, Joe Merrick says there's going to be 15-minute videos about this. Mine is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to be going over more than just the Ultra Shiny thing, obviously. But no one really cares about that. But this Ultra Shiny thing leads back to the Japanese Riddler. He showed this image of Heart Gold Soul Silver when Shinies were first being introduced into the metagame. But I think this is Gold, not Ethan. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. This all coming from, this probably is Heart Gold Soul Silver, because the Pichu and the way the Charizard looks. Charizard did not look like this back in Gold and Silver. So, but besides the point, this really does mean that some form of either an Ultra Shiny mechanic or Ultra Shiny Pokemon might be a thing. Might be. But, even though Cerebi put it on his page right here. Yeah, it was right here. A trademark shows the Ultra Shiny. He puts it right here. And then we have this, which I'm actually glad this is here, because I now get to show this. This page also showed that, these images here were showing the Lapras and the Pikachu, which Lapras been shown a lot. This doesn't really mean anything. It's just a costume, really. But the fact that the characters themselves are getting promotion of Lapras on their shirts, and then the girl female, she has the same thing on her shirt. So, I mean, you can't really see that because the image, when I tried to open it, it sent me to another page. But you get the point what I'm trying to say. It's like it's a promotion thing for whatever could possibly be something with Lapras. We still have no idea right now. I was going to show you that later on, but since I saw it here, might as well show it off since I already saw it. With that being said, then we had Joe Merrick come behind that and say, reminded that the Japanese don't actually use the word, that Japanese trademark that we have for Shiny. And they use this Japanese word for different colors. So it's a different color. That's how they say Shiny. And then for us, we just call it Shiny. But they call it different color for Shiny, for calling it a Shiny. But then we had Ruffle Rowlet come down here and say, but Joe, again, red and green were called Pokemon Aka and Pokemon Midori. He got that from Poke Serena. Poke Serena showed him that on his channel. So I'll leave also his one of his videos later that we talk about later. But this in particular, this conversation here, they didn't call it Pokemon. They were called Pokemon Aka and Midori, but Fire Red and Leaf Green would use English English red and green. So the Pokemon Red and Green were called something a little bit different, but they still use the English names. Like Fire Red and Leaf Green use the actual English names instead of the Japanese version of it. So that being said, Ultra Shiny could be the actual name of something, of a mechanic in the game, or like I said, it could be something like that. But as Joe Mayer was saying, even though it could be different, he was basically saying down here, also if the Game Freak and Nintendo are involved with a trademark as well, the TCG would be related to. So Joe Mayer was kind of reciting, saying, "Oh, it could be regardless. It could be something like a TCG or anime, something like that, or something that's in the store of the Pokemon Center." So, like merchandise and stuff like that, the TCG could have been called Ultra Shiny. That could be a trademark as well, because we've had things like Breakpoint, which was like a trademark, which was like a real name of the TCG. We called it Breakpoint. Then we had we got GX now. We got GX cards. Then back then we had like, the EX and X cards, stuff like that. So like that could be for the TCG. And then we got Forbidden Light, which is actual like the card name is still like we have Forbidden Light now. So that's what I said. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not for the TCG. Joe America is saying it's basically an open trademark. It's not really something that's specific to the games specifically. So it doesn't mean it's Ultra Shinies in the game, or there's something that's just like not Ultra Shiny mechanic, but it could be something that's pertaining to the TCG, the anime, or something like that. Which is right, but the anime is kind of ending. The TCG could do it, but that means it has to be for Sun and Moon if it's going for Ultra anyway. And then, even though we already know Forbidden Light, and I saw like a pack. If you've seen in one of my last videos, there's like a pack that shows like Zero Aura on it. So maybe Forbidden Light, it might be a Zero Aura pack, or maybe that's something new that they're gonna do, like a Zero Aura type TCG pack thing. A TCG based off of Zero Aura, since he was the last 7-Gen Pokemon, something like that. Then he said the Rough Route said here, the truth be told, but Joe, you haven't been able to check the TCG lately trademark. If all three of those companies are involved trademarking back then. And he said the last trademark when TCG was Fairy Symbol and the Rising Fist and the Phantom Gate since in 2013, plus a few extra things in the Cards and Battle Simulator and stuff like that. So basically, open trademark, all in all. And he asked him what he thought about it. He said it could go like any direction at this point. So we still have like no idea, so all we can do is wait, really. That's the same thing again, isn't it? I think that's the same. I think that's the same thing. Fuck right. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. I don't need that. And then we got Ultra Shiny page here from Poke Jungle. They show that off here too. A Japanese trademark, Ultra Shiny, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. There are no explanation referred to the. And like I said, this all refers back to the Japanese Riddler. I'm sorry. He said that there was going to be a different Pokemon that was going to be based off an alternate thing, something like a Shiny. That's going to be something like based around Shinies, or a game like a mechanic that could possibly be around Ultra Shiny. So it's just an open trademark. We have no idea what it means, but hopefully it's something that pertains to the games. And if it's not, if it refers to the TCG, that's fine. All we can do is keep an open mind. This is also the same photo. I was trying to find this, and then it's actually right on Cerebe's page, so I really don't even have to go over it now. But this is just was another thing, so I don't need that anymore, really. See, and then we could reanalyze the Pokemon Plus or Minus rumor. So here we had when we reread this, Game Freak was one of the first to develop the studio's alpha prototype hardware. Have few errors, tons of conceptions. Game Freak plans to complete an overhaul of basic battle styles. So basically, it's the overhaul of what we saw in plus and minus leak. If you understand what I'm saying, that was supposed to happen. The development was going to put a lot of ideas into the year's games. 2 versions. Codenames possibly plus and minus. Then we had an old tradition versus new exploration, which the Italian leaker talked about the old tradition and the new exploration in a different way, but it was basically some of these were kind of leeching off of this information, but they said it was in Southeast Asia. Then we had the Teardrop Pokemon, the Fiery Fairy Pokemon, the Cute Goat, the horns and stuff. Then we had the grass type store with all the petals and stuff, the Shifu Lion, all that stuff. The Pokken Fighters render, which Pokken Fighters, it is some good models of Pokemon, and I wouldn't be surprised if they use those type of models, but we can only hope. If the game will look something like Pokken Tournament in a way. And then we had, which was very interesting down here, really, which really blows it out the water, really, out of all things that was written in this little thing here, was that they had the nerve to come down here and say new type similar to shinies, no details yet. Work, but I've been told change insignificantly. So something similar to shinies again. So this is another thing that I feel like some people kind of took from this information and kind of just expand upon it in a way. Oh, let me get that for you guys. Hold on. So anyway, as I was saying, so like that same similar setting about the shiny thing, then it's supposed to be like an MMO environment and all that stuff. So all these is stuff to me, like stuff that some things that people want, variety of gems including Ghost and Dark, yeah, just things that people want, a mixture of things that people wanted and things that are kind of close to the other rumors and riddles we've been seeing. And then we, oh, that's the same thing again. I just keep coming across this thing. Okay. And that's the same plus and minus thing I showed y'all from before. So I'm going to leave that page linked to as well. So we have 2 of them. I already kind of went over this and showed you that this was kind of the same thing, just leeching off that information. We had this recently that someone named Pokey Experito on Twitter sent us this, showing that where's it at? That the localizations of the games, the Spanish does not appear anymore. So if you see here on this thing right here, if I can zoom in real fast. No, it's out. Oopsie. Okay, if you can see here. So we have the freelance Japanese to French, the Japanese to German, the Japanese to Italian, the Japanese to Spanish. We got the license manager, Germany's. We got the localization associate, the team tech. We have the localization editors for French and Italian, and the localization for specialists for Japanese to Spanish, and then the retail sales analyst for international sales. So that's probably when the game releases, and then, or when the people pre-order it and then they had a money circulating there. I'm just guessing here. And then as we can see, as we go to this one, if I can get this to work right, I'm trying to see this is working right. No, too far in, sir. Okay. Working with here, and then we have this. So as you can see, the specialist is gone. Not the administrator, but the what's going on? I'm trying to hit it, guys, but it's not going down. Okay, as you can see, the specialist is now gone from that. The 1 year specialist, the tech team guy is gone, and I think the Germany license manager is gone as well. And I'll probably miss it, but yeah, all those. Well, no, the tech team's still there. Never mind. But the specialist in the Germany thing is gone. For the Germany Central Europe 1 year term contract is gone, and then the specialist is gone, and the retail international thing is also gone. So are they getting ready to put the game out there because they found a specialist in the international, and are they going to be, are they done with the Spanish part of the translations in general with the game? Possibly. That's just a thought, guys. We're just showing this to show you that the jobs that were once there are now gone because maybe they're filled with those spots in. They got those people to get on board. So the ones that are still there, they still haven't found no people for that one, or they're just trying out different people still, and they haven't found a person that's set in stone in that, job. This is what mind boggled me. I was looking for Corey DeVeris on Twitter, and his thing was gone. But on his Twitter page, let me see, I took this from Ruffle Rowell. It's a YouTube video, so you probably see like the red line at the bottom. So he had this magazine on his Twitter page, and this is a real magazine. I'll show you that page in a minute. So this a real magazine, and it says Pokemon Switch is is Pokemon Switch title coming to Switch. It's a very big game, and then we have custom Mega Pokemon. So in this little magazine here, and then you have your V Giovanni and Ultra Sun and Moon right there at the top. He didn't. Ruff Rowell didn't really say this in English, so I didn't really see what that was. But and then it was something down here, but it wasn't that important what that was. It was just something about these two right here, I believe. But it's a Swedish magazine. Then it came to this page that it was January 20. No. What is that? I'm sorry. It was what, April 29th or March or whatever when the next. Yeah, it was March 29th when the next issue would come out. So I mean, this is kind of irrelevant, but people were flipping out about this because it said Pokemon Switch down there, and it's just a magazine. It's not really nothing to it, really. I think it was something else. Let me see. Well, yeah, that was pretty much it of that. So this is the actual page that the magazine came from. Website or page. If you want to be whatever one you folks about, whatever you want to say. But this is the page where the magazine comes from. This is one they recently had, and this is like the custom thing they do. They just put custom like megas and whatever. In their magazine. It's not a real official thing. But it's just something just to have and just read for Pokemon news and stuff if anything comes up. We're gonna debunk this now. Now I did end up finding this part of his page, apparently, and it states that he says my friend Surubu Hakamoa works for Nintendo. Just sent this picture to me. He said the Game Freak team had been working on a sample test map on a painting program. Wonder what country it is. So if we hit this right here, you can see simply that it says Switch game right there. He did admit that he put this right here, Corey, and just cause, but the Japanese text was right there already. Now this is the bigger picture of it, and all this just says testing map 1 and all that. Just test. But it's not a real map. I don't believe it is. I mean, we can't debunk it necessarily yet, but at this point in time, like, people are debunking this map because as you can see right there, it says create right there, and I would know because when I just pulled up my little photos right here, if you can see right there, it says edit and create. I'm sorry. Yeah, edit and create. And that's what it says in the And you can see it right there. That's the trash can, the little spinny thing. This is the same thing that's at the top of mine when I do my photos right there. It's the same thing. The trash can, the magnifying glass, and the reload button. Rotate button. I'm sorry. Reload. And that's the same thing. And he's showing this in the photos, but I'm saying as in general, as I'm looking at this, it seems like he either downloaded this from his friend or whatever, but whatever he did with this, I don't know. That's just kind of a little sketchy how that is. And this is supposed to be Spain and Portugal over together like that. And that's just the map. So I don't believe this is a real map. Take this with a big grain of salt. And, I'm not trying to discredit this guy or whatever, or his friend or whatever that sent it to him. But I don't think any person that knows Nintendo or Game Freak would know that if you put an employee's name out there anyway, they're gonna get in trouble. And I don't even think he would want to do that to his friend anyway, and then put his full name out like that anyway. So, in general, I'm not discrediting him, but I'm saying just keep a thought on that for a while, cause it's very unsettling that people just do that. And then we come down to the latest thing. We come back to the yearly earnings that we saw from before. And of course on the 26th coming up, we should be able to see these earnings eventually come to being, as we saw as before, the Splatoon and the Yoshi and all that stuff. So we know Yoshi's still coming. Kirby already came. Fire Emblem Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is Holiday 2017. Fire Emblem Warriors is fall. And all these two already came. Super Mario Odyssey already came. Pokémon Tournament DX already came. All these already came. All these over here already came. Nintendo Kirby game that was coming Holiday 2017. It already came. So all these things already came already. So we're still waiting on the Pokemon RPG, and with the fact that is that their earnings will be released on the 26th, we still have a possible chance of seeing something in the near future for the 26th of April coming. So we're gonna keep an eye on this page and when we see something, I'm gonna of course cover it. And then the last but not least, we had the Reddit here telling us was that Generation 8 will be based on Spain. We talked about this. I don't even know. Let me see what my last video on that was. Let me see. Hold on. My last video on Spain was in January 15th of 2018, at the beginning of 2018. And then I followed up with one right after that still talked about Spain, right after that on February, on the 2018. Cause I did a catch up of everything. And that was just, what? 2 months ago? Yeah, 2 months ago. When I first talked about it. 2 months ago. So we're talking the same thing here. We have the region, people say it was based on China because it was going to be based on China because the Pokemon games were now in Chinese. Riku is a color of a Chinese flag, calls himself a star. Stars on a Chinese flag. Riku came to Alola overseas to Alola over the sea from China. Masuda visited China recently. Mongoose are found in China, and Yungoos is from a different region. All these points were pretty good, but then we had all these related to Spain. We had each of the Tapus representing a different regions. Tapu Koko and the American Eagle and Oricorio represent Pawpaws from a cheerleader of the United States, or Unova, to be exact, for the New York base. We had Tapu Fini, Swordfish, Sensu Oricorio, based in Japanese dancer, and based on Japan, from Kanto to Sinnoh. We had Tapu Lili, being based off a butterfly, and Oricorio Payu is based on a Hawaiian dancer for Hawaii, and of course Alola. And then finally Tapu Bulu, which was already a ballet style, and the representative flame dancer based on Spain. I talked about this in the video as well, about these forms of different Oricorio leading to Spain. Ryuki, I didn't really look into this as much. Red and yellow color of the Chinese flag, but also colors of Spain as well. Notice that Ryuki has a guitar. Spain is the only one for flamenco, which is a dance with mostly music made with clapping and singing, and therefore one of the instruments in particular of flamenco, in fact, is an instrument used, and that it is a guitar like Riku. So Riku does have in his artwork a guitar, so like that. So we also have that. Yes, China has mongoose, but Spain does as well. Particular mongoose known as the Egyptian mongoose is native. Although mongoose are known to stand on two legs, the Egyptian mongoose in particular has a bunch of statues, and because of the mythology of all of them standing on two legs like gumshoes. So you have those things hinting towards Spain as well. Japan, Game Freak, and Spain. Japan loves Spain. In fact, I heard that there are bus tours filled with Japanese people in Spain, and this happens fairly often, so obviously someday they will probably make a region based on Spain. Another thing is that Masuda visited Spain in 2014, which means they could have been working on concepts for the game, thinking of ideas to do it around 2014. And then although he was there mostly to promote ORAS, which is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, if you don't know he went to a convention for research, which we did here, and that's not all. Muru also visited Spain in 2016, which means by then they could have had the ideas there and expanding upon those ideas and all that stuff, and creating the actual game in-game models for characters and stuff. Who knows? Then Spain and France. If the next region is Spain, then we were right beside France/Kalos. Likely that we will be able to go back to Kalos. And since we're going to be on the Switch, it should be able to handle two regions. Also, Kalos is the only region that we have gone back to twice. Even though Alola, we will be going back to Ultra Sun and Moon, in which we did. Also, there are lots of connections between Kalos and Spain. And for there, the train station. For one, there is a train station in Spain, and Spain's top mode of transportation is trains. Also, Kalos mentions there is not only a sundown, but there are also moondowns, and we haven't seen a moondown in one game yet. And that is just true. And Spain is known for its vibrant nightlife, so we haven't seen a moondown yet. So we could see one in the Spain region. And then on top of that, Kalos does have a train station that leads to nowhere. And this is in Corway Town, and that's the train station right there. So we have a train station that leads to nothing at all, and then the next region that we go to could be Spain, and yet they connect Spain to Kalos, and we could visit two regions like we did back in the Heart Gold Soul Silver days, and possibly had those falling Pokemon, and then we could bring that back too. Just different speculation here. I'm just speculating here. But that would be a nice touch. That would be a nice touch to a game. Plus, Kalos was kind of left out to me a little bit. Plus, we didn't get to expand upon AZ's Floette either, which got left behind. Really, we never got an event for AZ's Floette, and that would give them a reason to give AZ Floette an event. Even in the game, we could see an event for that Pokemon in the game, and then we can finally have AZ's Floette. Which then we won't have to worry about saying, AZ Floette got left behind, because then we'll have the AZ Floette then. And then we can explain about AZ and also the war that happened in Kalos. So there won't be many Pokemon in Gen 8. So why waste it on China region? China is huge. There are cities, deserts, frozen mountains. In fact, China is Mount Everest is where Mount Everest is. with very much obviously there will be a lot of Pokemon. However, according to the patterns, the Chiz Gen 8 will have a small number of new Pokemon. Each generation gains or loses some Pokemon. Generation 2 had less Pokemon than Generation 1. But Generation 3 had more Pokemon than Generation 2. Generation 4 had less Pokemon than Generation 3, which was true. But Generation 5 had a lot more Pokemon than Generation 4. Because Generation 4 focused on more of evolving the previous Pokemon. And then Generation 2 just kind of was just a region beside Kanto. So it wasn't really that much of a big deal. And then Generation 3 came out with a bunch of them. And then, we had a new type. Which was what? No, we didn't have a new type. We had a new type in Gen 2. That's what they focused on. So, Gen 4 focused on evolving Pokemon. Gen 2 focused on adding 2 types. And Gen 1 was kind of like that side of the first region. And then Gen 3 was really just expanding more Pokemon. Really. If you want to be for real. And then Gen 5 was expanding about Pokemon some more. And then Generation 6 had less Pokemon, which we were just exploring a new region, basically. That's what Gen 6 was about, just exploring a new region. Finding new Pokemon. And using some old ones if you like. And really Gen 6 really focused on Mega Evolutions, which was really giving previous Pokemon, again, something new. So, all the ones that get less Pokemon tends to have some type of other thing that they add to it. Generation 2 had the shinies. Less Pokemon. Generation 2 had the shinies. Generation 4 had the evolution prop to it, adding more evolutions. Generation 6 had the mega evolutions. So, each game that had less Pokemon had this little gimmick. So, in Generation 8, Generation 7, we have more Pokemon. But even though Generation 7 had a gimmick, it really wasn't, it was really an odd one. And we had Ultra Beast too, so we had 2 things introduced to us. And then Generation 8 is probably just going to have less Pokemon with just some new type of gimmick. So, I would be surprised, at that. It really is all up to that. Because we had 81 new Pokemon in Generation 7. And then the last but not least, Generation 9 probably going to have a lot of Pokemon then. And then we could probably see something like a China then. So basically what he was trying to say. So, that's all I have for now, guys. Please let me know what you think about all this information I covered. And I will see you guys, of course, in the next video.